बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम इय्याका नअबुदु व इय्याका नस्तईन अल्लाहुम्मा सल्लि अला मुहम्मदिन व अला आलि मुहम्मदिन व बारिक सल्लि अलैहि। Dear colleagues, this is the male child of almost 13 to 14 year age who complained of swelling at the right inguinal region when he stand up or cough or took the heavy weight sized object. So I am now scanning the right inguinal region. Here we can appreciate the femoral vessels at the right inguinal ligament or right inguinal region, and here is the inferior epigastric vessel joining the femoral vessel, and this whole area is the place for the direct and indirect inguinal region. If this is the inguinal vessels, inferior epigastric vessels, if herniation occurs just lateral to the inferior epigastric vessel, then it is indirect inguinal hernia. If it occurs medial to the inferior epigastric vessel at this level, this is direct inguinal hernia. So as the history suggests, there should be indirect or direct inguinal hernia which the patient is suffering from, and here we can see that these are the inferior epigastric vessel, this one and this one, a artery and vein, and this one is the femoral vessel. If we closely observe, we can see that anterior to these vessels there is also a black structure, fluid filled structure lying just anterior to the inferior epigastric vessel. This is the point for the deep inguinal ring, and here we can see that this has become clear. So the patient has come from the surgeon to differentiate for the direct or indirect inguinal hernia. So now I will ask the patient who have Valsalva maneuver. करो मुंह करके खांसी करो. Here we can see बस on Valsalva maneuver we can see that this fluid filled structure is now more prominent during the Valsalva maneuver, meaning that fluid has entered into this structure during the Valsalva. Now patient is at the rest position, and then we can see that this is again the size of the structure is decreased. Fluid has returned back into the abdominal cavity. So we can say that this is not the inguinal hernia, either direct or indirect. This is the fluid filled structure which is present at the deep inguinal ring, which becomes prominent or dilated during the Valsalva maneuver. So this is likely the anomaly of the processus vaginalis. During the early infant period or in the neonatal period, this is the place for the descent of the testes. So here the processus vaginalis, which is the embryonic structure, is patent, and the testes descend from the abdomen into the deep inguinal ring through the superficial inguinal ring into the scrotum. And after this processus vaginalis is obliterated. It is fibrosed and closed, resulting in the breakage of communication of the scrotum with the abdominal cavity or peritoneal cavity. But here we can say that there is persistence of patency of the processus vaginalis. Processus vaginalis is closed from the scrotal end, but it is not closed from the peritoneal end. For this reason, this fluid-filled structure becomes dilated and contain more fluid during the Valsalva maneuver. So, what are the anomalies at this level in the processus vaginalis? So, there may be communicating hydrocele which communicate with the scrotum, where may be the non-communicating hydrocele, means the hydrocele is present in the right or left hemiscrotum, but it has no communication with the peritoneal cavity. And another variety is the encysted hydrocele and funicular hydrocele. So how we will differentiate to the funicular and encysted hydrocele? So when we go for the ask the patient for Valsalva maneuver, खांसी करो से बस. Here we can see when I ask the patient to cough, the fluid is more in the cystic structure and is dilated and it becomes more prominent. So this is the likely to be the funicular hydrocele. Now we can see that this cystic structure is reduced in size during the resting period. So to differentiate between the encysted and funicular hydrocele, in funicular hydrocele, this cystic structure is dilated, filled with more fluid during the Valsalva maneuver, and it is reduced in size during the resting phase, which will not happen in the encysted hydrocele. In encysted hydrocele, the processus vaginalis is closed or obliterated at the peritoneal end as well as from the scrotal end, and the size of the cystic structure or hydrocele remains the same whether during the resting phase or during the Valsalva maneuver. So this cyst is increased in size during the Valsalva maneuver, so we can likely say that it is the case of funicular hydrocele. So this was the interesting and rare case I like to share you people to tell you about the anomalies of the processus vaginalis, which remains patent and is not obliterated. Thank you very much. बंद कर